And we're back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Unlucky Charms. I'm Sunny, I'm here with Dizzy and Girk, and today what we're going to do is something a little bit different. It's just a small little conversation amongst ourselves. It's not going to be as long as the rest of the Friday podcasts, and we're going to try release this 2 Tuesdays a month. So just to kick it off, Dizzy's not going to do Irish phrase of the day, but more so joke of the day. So let our listeners know what we have, Dizzy.
Well, lads, the joke we have this evening is the doctor gave me 1 year to live, so I shot him with my gun. The judge gave me 15 years. Problem solved.
Can you read that out again slowly?
Yeah, the doctor gave me 1 year to live, so I shot him with my gun. The judge gave me 15 years. Problem solved.
Oh my god.
Jeez. That's a good one.
That's a really good one. I like that one. I suppose if you're terminally ill,
what have you got to lose?
Yeah, like there's plenty of people who are creeps in the world as well, or just do things for the shits and giggles. Like Dizzy, Sonny, do you have any creepy stories to share with our listeners?
I have one. Not giving away like where I actually lived or anything at the time, but I was basically going to my local takeaway shop in my town, and I was just going in there for a drink after being with my mate. And when we went in there was these two lads, and they just kind of looked over and were just staring at us. And you know when you get that gut-wrenching feeling, just that bad feeling, I was like, right, okay. So we left, and I was like to my mate, she was just about to walk home, and I was like, not an actual chance. So we walked across the road, and we just kind of stayed there. Well, the lads came out, and they got back into their van.
Right.
But when they did it, they started flashing the lights at us, and you know the song, like, I'll Follow You?
Yeah.
Like, they started flashing the lights and started playing that while, like, they were staring at us. And I just got a really creepy feeling. I was like to my mate, like, look, we're not going anywhere because I don't trust this. She walked home, there's not really many houses up our way, and up my way where I had to walk home was really dark as well. So I was just like, no, I'm not chancing this. Like, I really don't want to chance this. So I just stood there speaking to her for a bit, because I was like, maybe we're going crazy here, you know, that kind of way. They're not looking at us, we're just, you know.
Yeah, but for anybody who doesn't know the song, the lyric is literally, I'll follow you into the dark.
Yeah. And it's like, it's really weird. And they kind of just started like flashing the lights at us. So I was like to my friend, just stay here talking, like maybe they'll just drive on. Well, we were standing there anyway, and they like, now we came to find out later that they were, for this local takeaway, they were actually like the suppliers. Like they came and supplied them, but it was still creepy nevertheless. Where we were standing was right across, just a bit down the road from where the takeaway was. Well, fast forward a few minutes, they kind of drove over the bridge,
right,
turned around, and we were kind of like panicking. We didn't know what to do, so we kind of like went down this little dip where it kind of leads to this little forest area in the town. We kind of went down the dip, and they drove the van while still flashing lights at us, blocking us from getting out, flashing while turning the van to like go forward. So I was like, I know they're definitely following us now. We don't know what the hell they have in the back of that van. Like, fuck this shit, right?
Soon to be.
Yeah, exactly. If we walk, I had a really bad feeling because I'm into like all like serial killer podcasts and stuff like that. Like, I was more aware than my friend, who was like just a bit naive to it at the time, but I was like, I got a really bad feeling. I was like, I've listened to enough stories to know this might not end well. So we just stood there and we rang her brother to come get us, because I was like, no, I don't trust this, right? And
her brother or your brother?
No, my mate's brother, to come get us. The entire time we were panicking, we didn't know where to run, we didn't know where to go, because anywhere we went, it was dark, it was late at night. So anywhere we went, if they'd have followed us, we were kind of fucked. We're kind of, every time we seen them, we froze. So we weren't good in the situation.
Yeah.
We waited there the entire time. They were kind of pulled up the traffic lights. We thought, right, by the time the brother gets here, they'll definitely be gone, right? No, they were still there. The traffic lights were green. They were just sitting there, right? So they were kind of, and we moved out with our eye shot and we waited for our brother. It was like the longest 10 minutes of my life. Now, mind you, I only lived about 10 minutes away from this takeaway, but there was no chance I was walking home. And then her brother came, and when her brother came, we got into the car and we pulled right up next to him in the traffic lights, and they just stared at us. They stared at the brother. They stared at us. Now, mind you, the whole time we were waiting for our brother, 10 minutes, they were sitting. When they dropped me home and my friend was coming back, the van was gone. They had left. Which means we put two and two together. They were waiting there for us. It was too much of a coincidence that the entire time we were there, brother pulled up, stared him out of it, and they stared us back. It was like looks could kill. And my mate was like, when we came back around, they were gone. So I was like, you know what? No, fuck this. Like, that was one of the most terrifying moments. And only for I said to my friend, you're not going anywhere, we're staying here. She would have walked home. And like, to be honest with you lads, I've lived in a big city for a while now, and the most creepiest things have happened. Nothing is like, do you know what I mean, as creepy encounters as I've had in my own goddamn hometown.
Imagine you're just going down for your local chippy.
Well,
And
what
you
was
nearly-
what Luke said?
Yeah, you didn't even get a chipper. It wasn't even like there
You
was
didn't
a
even
warm...
want a curry chip for fuck's
No,
sake.
it would have been more worth it if I had actually got them. All I
Not
wanted
even
was
a
Luke
hot
said.
chip to give you comfort,
No,
Dizzy.
all it was a bloody bottle of Lucid and a headache. Apparently nearly out my arse while I was at it. That day, that feeling, it creeped me out. I just knew. By the fact, the moment they started flashing the headlights and played that song, and then came up and blocked us in while they were turning, I knew. I was like, nah, I don't know if they're only fucking with us, but either way, I'm terrified.
Cinematic moment right there.
That you couldn't have like, lads, Jesus Christ, couldn't have made this stuff up.
And you, Kirk?
Have you any experiences to follow on from that one? I'm sure we all have a little thing. We've all got a creepy story or two.
I have one that comes to mind. It took me ages to think of this one. I think I blocked it out. I was on holidays in Bordeaux with my parents a couple of years ago. Bordeaux in France. Everything was grand, you know, minding our business. We stop in the centre. We go near where this huge market's on. All these stalls. My mom's like, look, if you want to have a look around, you know, go off, stay safe, we're nearby.
Yeah.
And so, like, to set the scene, cafes in the corner, they're sitting at a table outside. They order coffees and drinks, and I'm like, I'll be back in a half an hour, maybe an hour. I was like, if I'm not back after that point, come looking for me. And my dad's like, okay, no problem. He's like, your phone's off silent. I'm like, yes. He's like, fully charged. I'm like, yes. He's like, all your money's not in the same place. I'm like, no. I've done the checklist. We've made sure I'm safe. I go out of my parents' sight to go around the corner to this market. This market probably has over 40 stalls, and it's like a maze. And I was looking for fabric for my Deb's dress. And I just or else like just like nice curtains or bedding I could take home. I know what, I was just having a look, you know, seeing what I could
Having
find.
a gander, having a little gooch, see what you could find.
Yeah, and I knew like I had a little bit of French,
Gooch
so I was
is not,
like,
gooch is not to read.
have a sconce,
No, we say have a little gooch. Go on.
have a little gooch.
Have a little Gucci. Go on.
Everyone has a little gooch, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying something.
Maybe it's
Exactly.
like having an obscure peak. You
We
know?
all have something different. Have a little gooch, have a little peek.
Yeah.
You were having a peek anyway?
Yes, I
Kirk?
was.
Your story?
And I'm at this stall with these lovely, I can't tell if they're bedding or curtains, to be honest. So I start trying to strike up conversation with the fella.
As best as you could.
Lovely Turkish lad,
Yeah.
big smile. He asked if I'm French. I explained to him I'm not French because I asked him in French, does he speak English? And he starts telling me how beautiful I am and how lovely my eyes are. And he asked me where I'm from, and I tell him I'm Irish. And I'm like, do you know, I tell him what I'm looking for. And he's like, oh, I own a couple of stalls. And then he starts asking more and more questions. And then I'm like, do you know what? I think I'm going to leave the curtains. I don't need these. And I just start to panic, like heart out my arse, as you said.
Yeah.
And I start making my way all around the stalls. I'm like, I don't go back to my parents yet. And eventually I just start to panic in the market because I can see he's following me and he's left his stall and
Like
there
it's
is...
blatantly obvious
Yeah.
at this stage that he's following you.
So I find a bench, and at the time me and Sonny were really good friends, so I was like, if there's anybody I can call at any time of the day. So I ring Sonny, I'm sitting on this bench. He knows I'm away with my parents, like, what's going on? I explain to him what's happening and I just ask him how his day's going. So in front of me on this bench, there's 100 metres down the road, there's a white van with doors open. Then this guy approaches me with a folder on a bike. He asks, can he sit down? I make space for him on the bench. And I still have my phone up against my ear talking to Sonny. This guy then starts trying to talk to me, telling me he's a chef. Asked me, can I use my phone? Because I can't understand him. And like, he wants to use Google Translate. He gives me his phone. So he's like, so you don't think I'm going to run away with yours? And eventually I'm trying to like stop the conversation, being like, I need to go back. I'm like, I have people around the corner, I need to make my way back towards them. And then he's like, oh, Irish girl, like, come to a party with us. My friends, they'll bring you to the party. Then the same guy from the stall gets out of the van and he's there and they're friends. And your man made this whole story for 20 minutes about being a chef and borrowing my phone and all of this shit to try and get me to go in a van with them.
No, legit, that sounds like you're about to be trafficked.
I literally picked up my stuff, like, and I started to walk away, like, and I grabbed my phone, like, and I was just like, they're like, come to a party with us, Irish girl. And I was like, no, like, I can't. I was like, I have to go back, like, and I just walked as far as I fucking could to my parents. And I'm not even sure if I told them what happened. I think I might have said something to my dad, alright, and he's like, we're just going to go for a really long walk. He was like, until I'm not pissed off. And then we left the city, like. Yeah, no, I've never had somebody follow me like that before. And then for your man to come up on the bike, me thinking he's a helpless bystander.
It was well orchestrated, like.
It was fucking organised. There was about 6 lads loading shit into the van as well. And I was like...
And you could have been next.
Like, if I didn't have him, if I hadn't rang him to be like... Sonny, like, this fucking fella's following me around this fucking market.
Yeah, because, you know, Girk's over in Bordeaux and I'm in Ireland. I could have done so much different. I would have grabbed your man through the phone.
And you're probably feeling a bit helpless because you're like what?
He was just like, just try and walk away or like stay on your phone or tell him to, like, he looked the same age as me as well. Yeah. But it was just like, I'd say they were probably in their 30s. Yeah, exactly. Like, and the fact he gave me his phone.
It's kind of that the whole thing just sounded like a traffic or something similar. Like, but that kind of often happens because they think you're like a lonely tourist.
But it genuinely, it made me. I remember at the time I had like these denim shorts that I used to always wear. Since then, I have not worn denim shorts because I've been like, maybe if I hadn't been wearing this, he wouldn't have followed me.
It's not your fault.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but just even the comments about appearances, and they lure you in to be like, oh, you're from here, and you're like, obviously if you're at a stall, you're like, maybe if I chat to this fella, I'll get a cheap price. Like, I have no intention of getting in the back of your van, fucking Turkish lad. Like,
unless you can give me a savage haircut Turkish man, I'm not getting in your van. You know what I mean?
That's like writing on the side of your van, like, can't free like sweets.
Getting that ice cream theme tune, putting it on a white band.
Like,
back
I like
windows.
a screwball as much as the next person, guys, right? Real nice ice cream, you get that nice chewing gum at the end, but it's not worth it.
For all our listeners, life hack of the week. If you have a younger sibling, a younger niece, a younger nephew, a younger child in your life, a kid, and they're of age of just learning what the fucking ice cream truck is, teach them this. Tell them when the ice cream theme tune comes on through the estate, it means that the man has ran out of ice cream. So your child or your nephew or your niece will never go out because he'll only hear it when he plays the theme tune. And at the time, the kids will be like, oh, that means he has no ice cream.
How to keep your kids safe 101.
How to keep your kids skinny globally 101.
Creepy stories, honey.
But like, what? Do you have any creepy stories?
Yeah, I do, but like, what type of creepy do you want? Do you want somebody at my gaff, or do you want somebody I knew when I was younger?
Either,
yeah, whichever one you think would be more interesting.
There's more scare factor.
Yeah.
Scare or
what was more
factor?
creepy to you?
18 years old Sonny, finishing work at a meat company, used to meet his friends up in alleyways for cans. Still feels better than going to a pub. We finish work at like 11, we go up to this alleyway, we're there for 12. Religiously every single Thursday, Friday and Sunday, this guy called Larry Cans would come up through this alleyway at a certain time. The time being exactly 1:45 in the morning. I don't know why. And there was about 6 of us that used to go here. We didn't all work at the same place, but we were all friends and we knew where we'd be. We met up for a few cans. And then we're sitting down in this alleyway, all fucked up on cans.
A big whole bag of cans.
Cans with the boys.
Yeah, well, we used to walk up with the, box of cans. This guy called Larry Cans came at 1:45 on a Thursday, Friday and Sunday. And what he used to do is pass us with like a see-through shopping bag, like an Aldi bag but see-through. And he'd just have loose cans in there, and it wouldn't all be the same cans. He'd have like Dutch Gold, he'd have like Heineken, he'd have all these.
Around it.
A well-cultured man. He used to come up, he used to tell us stories about his sesh days and what he's doing at the moment, and then he used to fuck off. And we don't know anything about him. You never see him during the date. Usually you meet somebody once and you start seeing him all over the place. This guy, you meet him Thursday, Friday, Sunday.
What was Saturday?
No, he wasn't there.
What is that? Was his name actually Larry, or did you just call him Larry Cans?
We didn't know what his name was, so we started with the name Larry Cans.
Is he creepy? Like, is he like?
What was the stories
Yeah.
from his session dates?
You know yourself. NSFW, we will set up a Patreon for this one day. That was the story of Larry Gans. It was more just a weird encounter that you have, more rather than scary. You two were about you nearly getting abducted. So I just thought I'd lighten the load with Larry Gans. If I could get a picture of him, I would, but he's like a ghost.
If you go back to the exact same spot now, we made you are now and just wait for him to.
We- To all our listeners,
He could get Grim Reaper.
you need to do me a favour. You all need to share this, and you all need to tell your closest friends, families, and you need to get the unlucky charms out there and search for a man called Larry Cans. We can be contacted on Instagram through the unlucky charms. Feel free to DM us with any creepy stories of anything that you've experienced, and also if you've had any funny, weird characters come through your life, such as Larry Cans. We welcome every story, and if your story is interesting enough, we might even give it a mention on the podcast.
So the creepier the better, guys.
Girk, do you have a little quotey quote for today?
My quotey quote for today is, everybody else is taken, so be yourself.
That is very good.
Everyone's in a relationship with themselves.
If you're struggling with worrying that people are thinking about you, or worrying after a conversation that you might have upset somebody, like if they haven't told you, like, stop comparing yourself to other people and worrying about what they think, because all types of people make up this world, and quite frankly, if you're the same as everybody else, you'd be fucking boring. Otherwise, we don't have a diverse world and we can have these creepy stories.
Everyone should tap into their uniqueness, nerve, charisma and talent.
Dead right, Dizzy.
There's a quote from good old RuPaul. Good old Ruru.
Good old Roo.
Shout out.
I swear if we don't get RuPaul's Drag Race to subscribe to us at this stage.
Yeah. I'd like a sponsorship, that would be nice.
This has been a fantastic little Tuesday upload, Monday Night Fever. To all our listeners out there, thanks very much for listening. Thanks for staying until the end. Coming down the line, expect to see new things from the Unlucky Charms, such as merchandise, bi-weekly Tuesday videos, and of course, every single Friday we come out with the Unlucky Charms podcast. This week, I hope you're all excited. We have Adam, who specializes in jazz piano, on the podcast, and I guarantee you it's one that does not want to be missed. So until then, guys, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, share. We could be found on Instagram. We could be found on Twitter. We could be found all over the place, especially TikTok. Peace out.
Chat to you next week, lads.
See you on Friday. Bye.